defense acknowledged that the videos of alleged freak-offs will be shown, but that those videos, they said, didn't come from the government's investigation so much as it came directly from Cassie's phone. But they were essentially trying to raise doubt about why did she hold on to these videos, and again, making this argument that this case is about love and infidelity and money. But the prosecution is saying, no, you will hear from witnesses that will tell you that they were kicked, they were punched, they were coerced to performing acts. So this is only the beginning.
And guess who just slid into the courtroom as the prosecution's secret weapon? Star witness, Gina freaking Huynh. And this ain't your average legal battle. This is personal.
Anything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak-off where Diddy and another man in Edward are standing on top of her while she is laying on the floor high off of ecstasy, and they are urinating on her face to the point where she is on their face. And to further give context, on the right-hand side of the court seated is her husband, Alex.
With all that messy history between Gina and Diddy, plus that long simmering drama with Ms. Young Miami, the tension is off the charts. This whole thing is smelling like straight up revenge. Karma's knocking loud, and it might be about to shut Diddy down for good. Word on the street! Young Miami is already shook. And can you really blame her? There's too much heat coming at once. This situation is spiraling fast. And trust, it's not looking good for anybody on Team Diddy. So yeah, go ahead and grab that popcorn, because this ain't just drama. It's a full-blown courtroom thriller. And Kaisha? Girl, please. But before we dive into why Gina stepping up has Young Miami in full panic mode, let's rewind and break down what went down on day one of this explosive trial.
She was going through images, identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil on her. And reporters say that one female juror rested her hand over her chest. Also say that a male juror quickly averted his eyes, and another wrote notes while clearly shaken. Prosecutor Emily Johnson then shifted the focus to when this began.
Sources coming straight from inside the courthouse are saying that these testimonies, they're not just being spoken, they're being felt. People are sitting there with their hearts in their throats. From what's been leaking out, it's hard to imagine Diddy walking away from this untouched. If these reports are even halfway accurate, he's looking at real time. No cap. This trial is spiraling into one of the most intense federal cases the culture has ever witnessed. We're talking federal trafficking charges against Sean Diddy Combs unfolding right now in Manhattan. Security's so tight, it's like trying to break into Fort Knox. That courtroom's locked up tight, the witness list is star-studded, and even seasoned reporters are out here begging for scraps of info. Everybody's watching and wondering who's next to testify.
Next, on the right-hand side of the court seated is her husband, Alex Fine. On the left-hand side, Diddy's 6 out of 7 kids are sitting in the courtroom, as Cassie is describing, having weekly freak-offs for years that would last 2, 3, one lasted up to 4 days. She talked about damaging hotel rooms so bad in one instance that they had to pay such a hefty fee because the hotel told them that they needed to completely redecorate the room after a freak-off.
Then, on May 13th, 2025, things got even wilder. Out walks Cassie Ventura. Yeah, that Cassie. Diddy's ex. Everyone thought she dipped from this madness years ago, but nah. She pulled up, ready to speak her truth. And let's talk about her entrance. Cassie strutted into court visibly pregnant, belly out, glowing, and unbothered. She looked like she was due any minute, and that right there, that was a power move, a whole statement. Resilience on full display. Now let's break down just how powerful Cassie's moment on that stand really was, because what she dropped, it shook the whole courtroom to its core. When Ms. Ventura took that mic, the vibe shifted instantly. Her first day testifying was straight up chilling. She didn't hold back. She laid out years of alleged control, manipulation, and abuse at the hands of Diddy, and the room went dead silent. Cassie testified that Diddy allegedly ran her life like a puppet master, down to what she wore, where she went, and even who she could talk to. But the darkest part? She detailed disturbing events, including what she called violent outbursts, mental manipulation, and those infamous freak-offs,
Said jurors were handed personal screens so that they could privately see images taken from what Cassie called freak-off videos. Cassie had a binder on the stand with her, and she was going through images identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil on.
Where she claimed she was forced into explicit acts while Diddy just sat there watching. The energy in the courtroom? Ice cold. People were locked in, jaws tight, eyes wide. You could feel the weight of her every word. But Cassie didn't stop there. She painted the picture of a man who, as she claims, used money, clout, and fear like weapons. She talked about being beaten in hotel rooms, her phones getting smashed, her career being locked down, and her entire life being twisted into Diddy's idea of control. She said he used her body like a tool for power. And that kind of testimony doesn't just make headlines, it hits juries hard. And just when you thought it couldn't get heavier, Cassie broke down on the stand as prosecutors played the infamous 2016 hotel footage. Yeah, the same clip CNN leaked that had folks worldwide in shock. But insiders say that was nothing compared to what else was played in court. Videos that have never been seen by the public, allegedly even more disturbing. At that point, Diddy knew he was cooked. His defense team tried to clean it up by calling it inhumane but not criminal, but the damage was already done. People saw it. They felt it. The truth don't get softened by weak spin. Courtroom tension has been sky high. It's so intense that the jurors keep getting reminded to stay fair and impartial.
Heavily involved in everything. Everything that comes out about him, like you said, it's automatically, well, what you think? Mm-hmm. Well, how you feel? What you got to say?
Because.
But let's be real. When you've got haunting testimony and graphic footage in your face, staying neutral ain't easy. And when prosecutors called Cassie their key witness, they weren't playing. They came for blood, especially on those beatings. You heard coercion, and prosecutors say Cassie wasn't the only one. According to them, there are multiple women who allegedly went through the same nightmare, punched, kicked, manipulated, and straight up forced into twisted acts as part of a disturbing pattern that played out for years. This wasn't just a one-off situation. They're painting a picture of systematic control and abuse. But Diddy's defense? They're trying to flip it all around. They're saying this ain't about trafficking, it's just a messy love story gone sideways. They're calling it a situation full of cheating, heartbreak, and money problems, not a federal crime. They even tried throwing shade on Cassie by asking why she kept some of those explicit videos that are now being used in court, like they're trying to hint at some shady motives on her part. But the jury didn't look too convinced. Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, showed up to back her up, but as soon as the 2018 rape allegations came up, he was immediately asked to leave the courtroom. Word is, he might be called in as a witness himself, so they didn't want him hearing too much. The pressure in that room is wild. And believe it or not, this is just the start. Cassie's expected to stay on the stand for up to 3 whole days, and everything coming out so far has been explosive. This trial's moving fast, and the energy in that courtroom? Tense isn't even the word, it's suffocating. Diddy's legal team is scrambling to do damage control, but the stack of testimonies is only getting taller. And it's not looking good, not at all. More witnesses are on the way, and the prosecution is keeping that list tight-lipped. But word is spreading fast. More women are ready to testify. And with how deep this is already, folks are saying Diddy's barely seen the start of his problems. Now here's where it really blows up. Rumor has it, Gina Huynh is about to step in as another star witness. That's right, she's not just making a guest appearance, she's about to bring the heat. And the streets are saying she knows way too much. If what she spills lines up with Cassie's claims, this could be it. Game over. We all know the history between Gina Huynh, Diddy, and Young Miami has never been smooth. But if Gina really takes that stand and spills everything she's been holding in for years, Young Miami's whole world could get flipped upside down. Let's break down who Gina really is, and why her stepping into that courtroom could turn this trial into a full-on detonation. See, Gina ain't just some random ex. Nah, Diddy's had a whole roster, but Gina, She stood out. Word is they first linked up in the early 2010s during one of Diddy's wild party eras. But she didn't just fade away like the others. Gina stuck around, real quiet, real loyal. People say it got official in 2015, and from there, she held it down behind the scenes while Diddy ran wild in the public eye. She wasn't just some background fling. She was the one who played the long game. While Diddy was out here entertaining all kinds of ladies and denying relationship rumors, Gina stayed put. She'd disappear for a while, but then, boom, she'd pop up again, boarding private jets, rocking designer, and soft launching herself into Diddy's lifestyle like a shadow girlfriend. Word in the streets? Diddy was lacing her heavily, keeping her pampered, comfortable, and quiet. Living low-key on that bad boy budget came with perks. She was always getting flown out, flexing in his stories, and allegedly living a soft life.
For those who like to stupidly comment, well, why didn't she leave? She said she didn't have the resources and she didn't feel safe to do so. In her own words, I understood Sean's capabilities, his access to guns, and the threats that he made prior to that.
In exchange for silence. And now, that silence might be over. So when folks ask why Young Miami's been looking tense lately, this is why. Because if Gina speaks, a lot of things might come crashing down. And just so we're clear, Diddy's love life ain't no simple triangle. It's a messy, tangled up web. Everybody's connected and nobody's hands are clean. Let's not forget, before social media went into full meltdown over that steamy kiss between Gina and Diddy, Young Miami was already in the picture. She had been getting cozy with Diddy on red carpets, giving flirty interviews, going on luxury getaways, the whole glamorous rollout. So imagine how deep the tension runs now that Gina might be the one ready to blow the lid off everything in court. But let's not act like this was some fairy tale romance, because it definitely wasn't. Diddy and his ladies were open about being in an open relationship. He even described it as dating, but single, whatever that even means. Bold words from a man whose lineup had more depth than an NBA bench. But here's where it gets real messy. When Diddy officially brought Gina into the spotlight back in 2015, the timing was super shady. Why? Because that puts her overlap right in the middle of his longtime relationship with Cassie. Yep, that Cassie. The same one who testified in court that Diddy wasn't just messing with her, but also double-dipping with the late Kim Porter. Cassie straight up told the courtroom that they all knew about each other. It was like they were sharing Diddy, like some kind of billionaire community boyfriend. Sis even joked that it got so comfortable. Folks were basically sharing zip codes, face creams, and men like it was part of the package deal. Now for a while, things between Gina and Diddy stayed low-key until May 2022. That's when Gina decided to flip the entire internet upside down. She posted a pic of Diddy kissing her cheek. And the timing? Chef's kiss level messy. Why? Because that little post dropped right in the middle of Diddy's single but dating phase with Young Miami. The internet exploded. That one photo was like hitting the launch button on a nuclear drama bomb. Fans were shook, blogs were in full sprint, and Young Miami, she went off. She jumped on Twitter and said, "Somebody please give this beast some attention." Translation: "Don't play me for a clown over this man." And just like that, Gina versus Miami was officially on. It wasn't subtle anymore. This was straight up Instagram versus Twitter warfare. The cold shade turned into fire emojis and digital jabs. Gina clapped back so hard, folks were saying, Young Miami should have just kept it dating but single like Diddy called it. Because once your man's side chick has Wi-Fi and free time, it's already too late. From that day on, Gina and Miami were out here treating each other like full-blown rivals, throwing shots in IG stories, tweeting subs, using every app with a share button like it was a weapon. And just when things couldn't get any pettier, December 2022 happened. And the internet snapped again. Why? News dropped that Diddy welcomed another baby with another woman, and Gina? Oh, she didn't waste 1 second before reacting. This whole saga, straight out of a reality show script with luxury, lies, and no chill in sight. Gina didn't just throw shade, she dragged the whole Amazon rainforest with her, when she posted a video mocking Young Miami, saying, "When she beefing with you over Ninja the whole time he got somebody else pregnant. City girls down 1,000. Whoo! That wasn't just petty, that was scorched earth. Miami, of course, wasn't about to let that slide. She clapped back with a flurry of tweets laced with spicy insults, reminding everyone that, yeah, Diddy might have been for the streets, but she was the one getting flown out, showered in luxury and front row at every major event. But let's be real. No amount of Birkin bags can erase the fact that another woman was pushing Diddy's baby in a stroller while all this was going down. And here's where it goes from messy to straight up chaotic. Even with all the drama flying, Diddy kept both of them around, plus Dana Tran, who had just given birth to his child in 2022. The whole time, Gina kept posting and deleting shady content. Miami was subtweeting like crazy. And Diddy? He was out here living his best life, soaking in the madness like the ringmaster of a circus he built himself. Now let's fast forward to today, and Gina's rumored role as a star witness in Diddy's federal trafficking case. This ain't just gossip anymore, it's nuclear. Gina isn't just some bitter ex. She's been around longer than Miami, and she stuck around after Cassie. That means she allegedly saw Diddy evolve, from the flashy mogul to whatever dark empire this trial is now exposing. Word is, Gina knows how Diddy's whole setup works. Who was in it, what went down behind closed doors, and where all the figurative bodies are buried. If Cassie lit the match, Gina's walking in with a flamethrower and a gas can in each hand. And let's not forget, right after she and Diddy split, Gina went off. She publicly aired him out, even comparing herself to Cassie and calling him out for all kinds of wild behavior. Insiders say it gets darker. Gina allegedly claimed that Diddy put hands on her and pressured her into terminating 2 pregnancies. That's not tabloid talk. That's real, disturbing stuff. Sources also claim Gina's been sitting on a vault of receipts. We're talking not just texts and private pics, but serious behind-the-scenes intel, info about what really went down at those infamous parties, which celebs were sliding through, who got paid to stay silent, and just how much Young Miami might have known all along. And let's be clear, if Gina steps into that courtroom and starts talking under oath, not a single NDA on earth is going to protect Diddy from that level of exposure. And Young Miami, word is, she's already shook, and who wouldn't be? Imagine beefing with a girl over a man just for her to end up getting the last word in federal court backed by agents and hard evidence. That's not just humiliating, it's career-threatening. Because if Gina starts name-dropping and tells the jury everything she's seen, overlapping relationships, secret payments, hush deals, backdoor arrangements, it's gonna blow the whole thing wide open. It won't just be Diddy in the hot seat. Young Miami's messy connection to all of this, the drama, the flexing, the perks, it could all come crashing down. Let's keep it real. No amount of tweets can outshine a federal testimony. The feds don't care about followers, likes, or cute captions. This ain't social media. This is the big leagues. And what Gina might bring? That's not tea. That's a whole boiling pot on fire. Gina Huynh stepping into that courtroom wouldn't just be about clout or revenge, it would be a full-blown reckoning. After years of being dismissed, dragged, and called pressed, this would be her moment to flip the script. And if she unloads even half of what she's allegedly holding onto, Diddy's empire, cooked, Miami's image, shaken, the whole culture, forever changed. But hold up, there's a twist. Word is, victim 3, who many believe is Gina, might be getting cold feet. She was reportedly set to testify under her real name, and just a few days ago, she even confirmed it to the court. But now, total silence. No response to the judge, not a single peep. And this sudden hesitation? It's got everyone talking. It's kind of wild. Just days after confirming she'd take the stand, she's now ghosting the courtroom. And all this started happening right after word got out about her role. The timing is suspicious to say the least. Whoever victim 3 is, whether it's Gina or not, their voice, or silence, holds serious weight. This trial could pivot completely based on whether or not that testimony gets delivered. Stay locked in, because this could flip everything again. And now here we are, the whole world watching as Diddy's case unfolds, with the prosecution already pushing Gina as their star witness. So now, the question is, what happens next? Are we about to witness the downfall of one of hip-hop's biggest moguls? Or is this just another twist in a story that's already too wild for TV? Because let's be honest, this saga has had everything. Overlapping situationships, side chick showdowns, billionaire baby mama drama, and now explosive courtroom testimonies that might tear it all down. Y'all, this ain't just gossip. This is history in the making. And the wildest part? We ain't even at the peak yet. But now I gotta hear from you. Do you think Gina's really about to be the final blow that brings Diddy's empire crashing down? Or is she just using this spotlight to make her move and stir the pot one last time? And what about Ms. Young Miami, city girl to the core? Is she really riding with Diddy to the bitter end? Or quietly planning her escape while the block's still burning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I need to know where y'all stand on this madness. And hey, if you made it this far, you already know you're a real one. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Because trust me, the next drop, it's gonna be even messier. We're just getting started, and what's coming next might flip the culture upside down. See you on the next one.